The girl who fights using only her legs is back. Most fighters build their careers with their fists. Mona Kimura chose a completely different path. Instead of relying on punches, she turned her legs into her deadliest weapons, defeating opponents who had spent years mastering the sport. After becoming one of Japan's fastest rising kickboxing stars, she refused to take the easy road and accepted the biggest challenge of her career. The outcome shocked everyone. So how did an ordinary boxing champion transform into one of the most unique kickboxers in Japan? This is the story of Mona Kimura. This is Boxing Docs. Unlike most kickboxers, Mona Kimura didn't begin her journey with kicks. She began with boxing. From elementary school, she spent years mastering her hands, footwork, and timing. That dedication eventually made her one of Japan's brightest young boxing talents, earning a national championship before reaching adulthood. For many fighters, that would have been the perfect career. But Mona wanted something different. She left boxing behind and stepped into the far more demanding world of kickboxing. It was a decision that would change everything. Rather than following traditional techniques, Mona created a style built on speed, balance, and relentless kicking. While most fighters use their legs to set up punches, Mona turned her legs into her primary weapons. Her explosive kicking style quickly earned comparisons to the legendary video game character Chun-Li, not just because of her appearance, but because of the non-stop pressure she brought into every fight. What once looked like an unusual style soon became one of the most dangerous weapons in Japanese kickboxing. Now there was only one question left. Could this unique style survive against real professional fighters?
Versus Ogiwara.
Now came the moment of truth. Could Mona Kimura's unconventional fighting style survive against a real professional opponent? Her first challenge came at Krush 167 against Japanese kickboxer Ogiwara. Most people expected Mona to attack with non-stop kicks from the opening bell. Instead, she surprised everyone. Using her boxing background, she opened with sharp jabs, carefully measuring the distance before bringing her legs into the fight. But the plan almost fell apart. The moment Mona threw one of her early kicks, Ogiwara caught her leg and sent her crashing to the canvas. For many fighters making their professional debut, that single moment could have changed everything. Not Mona. She calmly got back to her feet, made immediate adjustments, and began taking control with precise footwork, accurate jabs, and perfectly timed kicks. With every exchange, Ogiwara was forced further onto the defensive. Then the fight changed completely. A perfectly timed combination dropped Ogiwara for the first knockdown. She beat the count, but the momentum was gone. Sensing the finish, Mona stepped forward, landed another devastating combination, and ended the fight with a spectacular knockout. It was more than a dream debut. It was proof that Mona Kimura's unique leg-based fighting style wasn't a gimmick. It was a weapon capable of defeating professional fighters.
Mona Kimura versus Yuka.
A dominant debut had already made Mona Kimura one of the most talked about young fighters in Japan. But one victory wasn't enough. Her next challenge came against Japanese kickboxer Yuka, a fighter determined to prove that Mona's unusual style could be figured out. Round one. From the opening bell, Mona wasted no time taking control. Her signature rapid-fire kicks kept Yuka at a distance, while sharp jabs and precise straight punches punished every attempt to move inside. By the end of the opening round, Mona was completely dictating the pace of the fight. Round two. Realizing she was falling behind, Yuka became more aggressive, but Mona responded with even greater precision. High kicks repeatedly found their target, and powerful body kicks slowly drained Yuka's energy. Then came the turning point. A perfectly timed body kick dropped Yuka to the canvas, giving Mona a crucial knockdown. Round three. Although Yuka recovered and continued fighting, the momentum never changed. Mona stayed composed, controlled the distance with quick footwork, mixed crisp boxing combinations with relentless kicks, and dominated the final round from start to finish. After 3 rounds, the judges awarded Mona Kimura a unanimous decision victory. With back-to-back wins, one thing became impossible to ignore. Her leg-based fighting style wasn't a lucky experiment. It was becoming one of the most dangerous weapons in Japanese kickboxing.
Satoko Ozawa versus Mona Kimura.
With 2 dominant victories behind her, Mona Kimura entered her third professional fight with growing confidence. But this time the challenge was different. Standing across the ring was Satoko Ozawa, an experienced fighter determined to expose the flaws in Mona's unconventional style. Round one. From the opening bell, Mona dictated the pace. Sharp jabs, lightning fast footwork, and her trademark high kicks kept Ozawa under constant pressure. As the exchanges continued, Mona's combinations repeatedly found their target, and before long, blood began pouring from Ozawa's face. Round 2. Sensing her opponent slowing down, Mona increased the intensity. A quick double jab followed by a perfectly timed high kick sent Ozawa crashing to the canvas for a knockdown. Although Ozawa beat the count, she had no answer for Mona's relentless offense. Round 3. The punishment continued. Mona remained composed, picking her shots with remarkable precision while Ozawa's face became increasingly damaged. The referee was forced to stop the action so the ringside doctor could examine the heavy bleeding. When the fight resumed, it quickly became obvious that Ozawa could no longer defend herself. The referee stepped in and waved the fight off, awarding Mona Kimura another dominant TKO victory. 3 fights, 3 victories, still undefeated. By the end of the night, one thing had become undeniable. Mona Kimura's leg-based fighting style wasn't just unique, it was turning into one of the most dangerous weapons in Japanese kickboxing.
Mona Kimura vs Angie.
After building an unbeaten record, Mona Kimura faced the biggest challenge of her career. Her next opponent was Choi, a far more experienced fighter with more than a dozen professional bouts. Many believed this would finally expose the weaknesses in Mona's unusual fighting style. Round 1. From the opening bell, Mona looked more aggressive than ever. She immediately took control with fast kicks and sharp boxing combinations, refusing to let Choi settle into the fight. Every attack forced Choi onto the back foot. Then came the breakthrough. Mona disguised a powerful head kick behind her combinations, catching Choi clean and sending her crashing to the canvas for a knockdown. Round 2. Choi came back determined to change the fight, pressing forward with more aggression. But Mona stayed calm, answering with precise 1-2 combinations, quick footwork, and perfectly timed kicks. Every exchange reminded everyone why her unique style was so difficult to solve. Round 3. Although Choi continued to fight until the final bell, Mona never lost control. She maintained the pace, landed the cleaner shots, and finished the fight looking stronger than ever. When the judges announced the decision, Mona Kimura had secured another impressive victory, extending her undefeated record once again by defeating her most experienced opponent yet. She proved that her leg-based fighting style wasn't just a unique gimmick, it was a formula for beating high-level professional fighters. 4 professional fights, 4 victories, still undefeated. In less than a year, Mona Kimura transformed from a national boxing champion into one of Japan's fastest rising kickboxing stars. But for Mona, this is only the beginning. Every victory brings tougher opponents, bigger opportunities, and even greater expectations. The biggest question is no longer whether her unique fighting style works. Now it's whether anyone can stop it. If she continues on this path, Mona Kimura has every chance to become one of the defining fighters of her generation and leave a lasting